This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
I have my ups and downs, just like anybody else.
Maybe more than anybody else.
I can be hard to figure out.
And I like my privacy.
I don't want you looking over my shoulder all the time.
But you know your kid better than anybody else. And if you think he's acting different than usual,
Acting really down, crying all the time for no good reason.
Or getting really mad, not able to sleep, or sleeping too much.
Shutting her friends out or giving her stuff away.
Acting reckless, drinking, using drugs, staying out late.
Suddenly not doing stuff he used to love.
or doing stuff that's just not like him.
It might be nothing to worry about. It might just be high school.
Or it might be something more. He might be depressed.
Not just feeling down, really depressed.
It might be that your kid is thinking about killing himself.
It happens. More than you think. More than it should.
And people say, I had no idea.
I thought it was just a phase he was going through.
I never thought she'd do it.
I wish he'd come to me.
I wish he'd said something.
I wish I'd said something.
When it's too late. So if you think your kid's acting different, if she seems like a different person, say something.
Say, what's wrong? How can I help?
And ask straight out. Are you thinking about killing yourself? It doesn't hurt to ask. In fact, it helps.
When people are thinking about killing themselves, they want somebody to ask.
They want somebody to care.
Maybe you're afraid you'll make it worse if you ask. Like, you'll put the idea in their head.
Believe me, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
In fact, the best way to keep a teenager from killing herself is to ask, are you thinking about killing yourself?
And what if they say yes?
Or maybe.
Or sometimes,
Well, here's what you don't say.
That's crazy.
Don't be such a drama queen.
you're making too much of this.
That boy's not worth killing
Yourself.
over.
That's not going to solve anything.
You're just trying to get attention.
You're not going to kill yourself.
What you do say is,
I'm sorry you're feeling so bad. How can I help?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunanan. Now, tonight's topic is one that is quite controversial. It's about suicide and depression. And this is a topic that a lot of people are talking about now because of the unfortunate passing of the late comedian Robin Williams, who took his own life a few days ago. And joining us to talk about suicide and depression, the causes of suicide, are some very good guests, led by, in this first segment, Dr. Joyce Combalicer, who is a psychiatrist and who specializes in this kind of thing exactly.
Psychiatrist.
Yes, welcome to Philippines Uncut, Joyce. And
Thank you for having me here.
it's a pleasure for to have you here. And as I mentioned in my opening spiel, this is something that a lot of people are talking about now.
Yes.
It's a very sensitive topic. And also sometimes a lot of people consider it a taboo topic as well. But now I'm glad that we are here and we are talking about it and bringing this out in the open. Okay. So before we talk about the issue tonight, let's talk about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
I graduated from Makati Medical Center, psychiatrist. I'm a psychiatrist. I came from Lucena City. I'm an active consultant at Grepa Life at RCBC. And I'm a visiting consultant at Lucena United Doctors in Lucena City as well.
Yes, and how long have you been involved in, and what got you into this field?
Initially, well, surprisingly, I got first in OB-GYN.
Okay.
I was an OB-GYN resident for 5 months. Then one day I said, I can't do this anymore. After 2 days, I got my resume. I went to Makati Med, I submitted, I got admitted, and the rest is history. I'm here.
Why psychiatry? Why did you choose? As you said, you started OB-GYN,
Well,
and then you end up being a psychiatrist.
Well, I love talking to people. I love connecting with them. I feel them every day. My friends would go to me, hey, I have a problem. If you have a problem, you talk to Joyce. And then I realized, well, I can make a living out of this probably. I tried, these are one of my options, psychiatry,
Yes.
aside from OB. So when I quit OB, 2 days, I went there. I got admitted. And probably it's God telling me, hey, this is a good place for you.
Tell us a bit about your practice today. I mean, what is it like?
Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately, there are lots of different cases that we're having. Depression, adolescent turmoil, kids growing up with different behavior. Like misbehaving in school, they don't want to go to school, they only want to play computers. Well, that's kind of be fortunate on our part because we're having, we're being introduced into the community.
Yes.
People are being more open in psychiatry. So, about the cases I'm having right now, depression is really, going up to the ranks now.
Really, huh?
Yeah. Probably because of, it's not only Robin Williams, I think.
Okay.
I mean, there are some people coming out that they're depressed.
Yeah.
I think Philip Seymour had also, killed himself. Whitney Houston, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think Michael Jackson had.
Yes.
One of the famous people, Michael Jackson, I think.
Yes, and the good thing that came out of this, it was very tragic, but at least if you look at the good thing is that it got people talking about this issue. And Robin Williams is a very loved actor, and he portrayed characters who were very, lovable and very compassionate, right? I mean, we all saw, what do you call this? Carpe Diem.
I think it's Good Will Hunting.
Yes, he came on Good Will Hunting.
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams, and then that movie where he was a teacher, mentoring all these kids.
Poet.
Dead Poet Society, of course.
I don't know if that's Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society, yeah. So, so it came as a shock to many people that this man who made so many people laugh,
yes,
and who seemed so happy on the outside would do something like this, no?
If I'm not mistaken, if I remember it right, I think Robin Williams was first diagnosed of bipolar depression. It means he has the condition already way before that.
Yeah.
He was an alcoholic before. He was sober for 20 years. 2011, he had a relapse.
Yeah.
So I think that's when it started again going back.
Yeah.
And I think his wife said that he had Parkinson's disease, and Parkinson's can also cause depression. For a person who's having the depression before, it means it's aggravating the depression.
It would aggravate the situation. Okay. Now, let's define first what is depression.
Depression is a pervasive mood of sadness. It means the whole day, whole week, you'll be sad.
Okay.
You don't feel good about yourself, no positive thing inside your mind. The golden period for depression is 2 weeks. It has to be like 2 weeks you feel this. Helplessness, you feel hopeless.
As in on a continuing
Maybe
basis.
not a continuing, but it has to be like mostly every day.
You have this feeling of...
You feel good like an hour, then you feel sad again. You feel depressed.
Or it's this heavy thing you carry around with you.
Yes.
Now, what is the difference between depression and sadness? Is depression sadness?
No. We just want to correct that. Depression is not sadness. It's
because we all get sad.
Everyone
feels sad.
It's very different. Sadness is just, it's a sudden feeling.
Okay.
You don't feel okay. But later you can feel okay, you can feel good. But when you talk of depression, it's the whole day. You don't feel okay, you just feel down the whole day. You just don't want to do things you enjoyed most before. There are 2 signs that you have to, like a red flag for depression.
Okay.
Once a person does not enjoy the things that he does before, like if you're a golfer, like you play golf every day, then all of a sudden you don't feel like going to golf. You don't feel like playing golf anymore.
Okay.
That's a good sign. Probably he's undergoing something.
Okay.
Depression. Depressed the whole day. You don't really feel okay. People will cheer you up.
What does it mean that you don't really feel okay? It's like there's something, you can be
something
kind of
wrong.
cheerful,
It's feel
but
heavy.
there's something weighing you down.
Yes. And then you always think that something is wrong. You don't feel you're worthy of the love of the people around you. You don't think that you can do anything else. You're just restrained from your own world.
Okay.
You don't have the energy. You don't have the energy even to move, to stand, to talk to your friends, to just go out. You don't have
This comes in varying degrees, though, because what you're saying now is what you're pointing out is kind of like an extreme case already, with people who don't want to get out of bed or what. But it can be in varying degrees.
Yes.
No?
Before we have this term dysthymia, but now we don't use it anymore.
What's dysthymia?
Dysthymia is the less depressed.
Okay.
But we don't use it anymore. That's academic for us.
Okay.
So we have the minor depression. It's less than depressed, but again, whether it's minor or a major depression, the thing is, it's still depression.
Okay, so you mentioned one red flag, and that is if people stop doing what they love, or they don't derive pleasure or happiness from
it's
things.
called anhedonia.
Okay.
Anhedonia. You don't have the pleasure of the previous things you loved before.
Okay, that's the one. That's the first red flag. What is the second red flag?
The depressed mood the whole day.
Okay. Okay.
And then, we Filipinos, unfortunately, we really don't go to a psychiatrist, unlike in the Western. When I had my training abroad, they would just go there, hey, doc, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
And that's it. We talk like that. But in we Filipinos, we don't.
It's okay. It's number one. It's traditionally it's viewed as kind of embarrassing if you go to psychiatrists, that people find out that you're seeing a psychiatrist. And number two, let me just give you my layperson's take on this. A lot of Filipinos would probably say, no need to go. I mean, just focus on the positive, or don't think about it.
Probably because we are very much a very religious country. They would say, you just pray. You go to a priest.
Yes,
you go to church. Stuff like that.
You hear that a lot. You hear that a lot.
Cultural, we are very clannish. The family dwells into you. What's happening to you? We can help you. We buy you things. Stuff
But
like
is that
that.
a good thing? Support systems, support groups?
Initially, yes. If it can help, why not? But there at some stage that, no, it cannot help anymore. You need to see a professional psychiatrist.
Okay. Joyce, I have a question. What is the cause of depression? I mean, okay, so we've defined what depression is. It's something that is actually a prolonged period of feeling sadness,
depressed.
not fleeting. So what causes depression?
Okay, it's multifactorial. There's no really like single-handedly, this caused the depression. No, it's a multifactorial. It's either genetics, a parent has a depression. There is a chance for a child to have depression also, but not automatic that if a parent is depressed, the child is depressed also. No. There is a chance, bigger chances. Okay. Second, it's environmental. Your environment is not conducive for you. You can cope up with the environment you're into. It can be environmental.
With your situation in life and
yes.
that. Okay.
Yes. Like if you move to another country, then the new country you're into is like the whole year it's winter.
Okay.
Gloomy the whole day.
That
can cause depression.
That can cause it as well. Okay.
Yes. And the third is what's inside your body, biochemical.
Okay.
At this point, I just want you to remember one word. It's serotonin. Once your serotonin is down, depression can set.
What is serotonin?
It's a neurotransmitter in the brain.
In layperson's terms?
I'm sorry.
How do you explain that? It is what does it do?
It is something that goes into your brain that once it's low, it will not help your mood to go up.
Okay. So no
Parang
amount of
like
cheering you up when
no
once
amount
that
of millions
goes
of
down,
money can help you once your serotonin is down.
Yeah. So hence the need for seeing a professional and perhaps pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. One thing, that's why I think many of the people right now, I don't know, they call it retail therapy.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's retail therapy, food therapy.
Yeah, retail
different
therapy.
types
But
of
these are we just like label it as retail therapy, but we don't really advise you do retail therapy. What do you mean by retail therapy? When you're sad, you buy things. Even though it will cost you millions of pesos. Once your serotonin and you're down with serotonin and you're depressed, it will not pay off.
Now, Joyce, how does being depressed, okay, fine, we define depression, how does it now lead to people taking their own life?
Because part of the depression, one of the symptoms of depression is the thoughts of dying, the thoughts of ending life, because they don't feel they have a feeling of worthlessness. They feel helpless. They feel that things will not change, things will not improve. So why do I need to be here? So the only thing that they can do is, okay, I better end my life. They're very negative people.
Yes.
So that's why they have suicide.
So wait, so are you saying suicide is it's a choice? They make the choice to end their lives, no?
Yes, actually it's a choice.
Yes, it is, because
Yeah,
it's,
a decision
it's an
that
active decision
yeah,
on their part.
It's a decision to end your life.
Yeah.
But going back, as I want to discuss that when you're depressed, there are three things happening. Physically, you're having physical effect in your body. You're always having headache, backache, you don't feel good, you always have fever in the afternoon with unknown origin, no focus. Go to the doctor, everything is normal. You might be having some depression.
Okay.
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 Another one is, again, I'm sorry, that's physical,
yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
You feel bothered, you don't feel okay, you just feel so negative towards other people. And then the third is cognitive. Your decision making is very much impaired. You don't decide right. Your reasoning is out of control already. Yes, it's their decision, but their decision making is impaired, so they're making not so good decision.
What do you mean by impaired? They can't. You're saying they can't think straight at that point.
They cannot make good decisions.
So it's really
sane. I don't want to say sane, but
Yes.
right decision.
Yes, because I mean, there's also a lot of, on the flip side, I mean, of course, there's a lot of sympathy, but there's also a group of people out there who are critical of people who have attempted suicide, and you hear things like, what were you thinking, or why do you do that, or you have so much going for yourself. I mean, you've got a family, etc., etc. In the case of Robin Williams, I mean, there have been people who've been critical. You see it on the internet, no? But as you're pointing out, that cognitive ability, that decision-making ability is impaired.
Yeah, they cannot see that. They cannot see that for simple reason that they feel so down, they feel so negative, they don't feel okay about themselves, about the environment. The psychodynamic behind depression is anger towards self. They're angry inside.
Interesting. How come? Why is it?
They feel they
Yeah.
don't they didn't achieve anything. They feel guilty that why am I feeling this way? I shouldn't be feeling this way because I have money, I have friends, I have everybody. Why am I feeling this way? So the anger is towards self.
Yes, because as you mentioned, you did mention some celebrities, and if you think about it, they have talent, they have money, they have a following, they've got fame. So what
But
more? I mean, like, what more do you
Why
need?
am I not happy?
Why aren't they happy? Yeah.
And then they feel guilty. They turn their anger towards themselves. That's why they hurt themselves.
And that's the manifestation is suicide. Now, okay, quickly before we pause for a break, what is the situation in the Philippines? I mean, you folks in the psychiatric community.
Yeah.
I mean, is suicide prevalent here in the Philippines?
Yes.
In a certain age group, perhaps? Is there any trend here?
I cannot say the whole country because unfortunately, well, I think this is a good way for us to voice out that we should really have give much attention to mental health already. There are some already. It's again, it's escalating already. I see in my practice teenagers, young adults doing this.
Really?
Yeah. And you'll be surprised their means. They see it in the internet. They read it somewhere. They Googled how to commit suicide.
Wow.
You know, where to buy silver jewelry cleaner.
Wow.
They would ask neighbors how to do this. They're all over the place. It's just we really don't have that much voice. Psychiatry, we really don't have that much voice in the community probably because of the old thing that when you go to us, you're insane. You're someone, can I say, baliw.
Yun nga, there really is that stigma for anyone who, I mean, even if they do seek psychiatric help, they would really keep it quiet, or some people even delay it as much as possible,
Because
perhaps.
they think it's a shame for the
Yes,
psychiatrist.
yes.
But nowadays, I don't see it that way anymore.
Very good point. Anyway, Joyce, we have to pause for a break. But guys, more of understanding suicide and depression when Philippines Uncut returns.